Okay, easy enough. So I am Don Trey. We have Jessica. We have Jimmy, and we have Exploration Island. Let's go on a journey. So we have evolved just a little since you all have last seen us. The main construct of this park is to have a storyline that's engaging. Um, I feel that Volcano Bay here in Orlando, Florida is very successful. However, the storyline can get lost when you actually get into the park itself. No one knows what the actual theme is aside from the huge volcano. Also, having this engaging storyline would give people or guests the reason to venture into all points of the park. We'll have three specific points of our park that we'll be talking about today. So I'll start now. This story begins in the city of Seton. It's about a young person. Their name is Kari. Kari's family moves down the coast from Daytona to Seton, Delaware, which is a small town in the middle of nowhere, densely populated with trees and water everywhere. And you have houses that are on stilts to evade floods. So Kari is a very, very adventurous individual. They move with their family, young girl, Kari, two parents, into a house in the middle of the woods. Um, this house is about 2 stories, kind of old, kind of creaky, kind of damp. This excites Kari, makes Kari wants to venture all over the land. Within the house, Kari finds themselves exploring the attic. And up in the attic is going to be a creepy, damp place. In the attic, there's going to be a chest. Within that chest, there's a tiny little book. It's old, it has leather on it, and it is clamped closed. So Kari decides to unclamp said book, right? And once this book open, it creates a vortex and it's sucking in everything that's around it. The book begins to speak to Kari and it says, in order to save your family, you must solve the mystery of the lost family. There was a family that lived in the house previous to Kari and their family moving in. So this vortex is happening and Kari is backing up and notices, if we go back, that there's glowing from each of the windows. One window is glowing blue, one is green, one is brown. From the glowing, it's going to be indicating on the exterior that there's portals in Kari's backyard. In the backyard, each one of the portals connects each area of our park. So we have the swamp, we have the deep sea, and we have the rainforest. Kari is very adventurous. The first place that Kari is going to venture into, for whatever reason, is going to be the swamp, right? Within each of these lands, the common storyline is to find pieces and or relics in order to solve the mystery of the lost family so that they can all survive. In the swamp, we're going to be finding a map lost in the waters of the swamp. In the deep sea, we're going to be looking for frames at the bottom of the sea that's protected by the Kraken, which is going to be a water coaster that I'll explain later in the presentation. In the forest, we're going to be looking for a lens. All three of these things coming together, you'll be able to locate the lost family. This storyline is actually inspired by National Treasures. If you all have ever watched it, where they had to go around places collecting relics in order to find this lost treasure. But here we're finding a lost family. So this is going to take us into our concept design right now. It is into 2 pieces. On the left-hand side here, we're going to have our main overflow of how all of our parks are connected. So we decided to connect our parks with something that's a little bit more subtle and interactive for all. So it's going to be a lazy river that goes through all 3 of the different park systems. Within our parks, we have a lot of hyperactive rides and high velocity rides. So this will be our calming factor that kind of mediates those. Within the center core, where it's indicated that we have a little circle and shops, this is going to be an updated rendition of our center core. And it's going to be relating back to that original story of Seton. So within here, you have little boxes that are indicating the houses on stilts. Around the boxes, you're going to have those 3 portals that connects you to each one of those islands that are along the path of the lazy river. The cool thing about this core is not that it's rated to be safe or anything. It does flood itself every hour on the hour, and gives the guests an interactive water experience upon entering the parks. We've also located most of our back of the house will be at the entrance of the park here. In the center, we're going to have our Vortex Ride. This ride is in the core, and we put it in the course because it's one of our prominent ideas. This is initially the book that opened and it created the entire vortex. So this will be a multi-slide ride, again, similar to that one that appears at Volcano Bay. On the next slide here, we're going to go into that of our rainforest concept, and I'm going to pass it on to Miss Jessica.
Hi, everybody. So these are some of our inspiration images for the rainforest. And then down here on the left, we can see a drawing of the passage towards the rainforest. So each entrance is going to be this kind of rope bridge, like this bottom picture, and it's going to cross right over the lazy river. So you'll actually be able to look down and you can see the lazy river going right underneath you. And you're going to kind of go from this big open area into the rainforest tropical area with a lot of trees. There's going to be, you know, enough trees and enough plants to create the theming and keep everyone like in the atmosphere, but most of the area will be really open so the sun can still shine and you can still stay in your swimsuit without getting cold. But the whole area is meant to stay, you know, in your swimsuit in the water park and just like go have some fun. So once you get into this rainforest area, it's going to be an island that is just surrounded by the lazy river. And on the island is going to be all the attractions for the rainforest. And then here is just some images of what our cast members would be wearing in that area. It'd be kind of safari rainforest inspired outfits. And then they would be having shorts because it's Florida and it's very hot. And then we wanted some fun tropical carnivorous plants. So it was this like exotic place, and there would be a sort of interactive garden where you can go in and see all the different plants. Okay. Oh, don't trick me. Yeah. So then here we have a drawing of the rainforest lazy river. So the lazy river will go through all different zones in our park, but when it comes past the rainforest, there will be a waterfall, which you can go up close to. You could, you know, touch the water. It'll be totally safe, and there'll also be a loading zone, so you can get off and on the lazy river every point around the park. So you can get in at the rainforest, at the swamp, and at the deep sea. But it's going to be, as you can see, there's enough trees and, you know, plants to create this theming, but the lazy river itself is pretty much open, so you'll have the sun right on you. And this upper right picture just shows you a little inspiration of the planting and, you know, the atmosphere, as well as these kind of animatronic animals is kind of what we wanted to have around the lazy river in the rainforest area, because as you're going, you're in this lush area and there's animals all around you. So it's a whole experience of being in the rainforest. Okay, so then in the rainforest, one of the main attractions is the adventure slide. So the adventure slide is where you are going to try to find this lens. So you have to climb up a tree house, and that is the stairs on how you get to the top of the slide. And then the slide itself comes down from the tree house and it goes around all the different trees. And as you're going through all the trees, you see a bunch of artifacts and things hanging in the trees as if there was, you know, a crash or someone got abandoned there. And as you're going down, you land in a big pool that's really lush and, you know, surrounded by everything in the rainforest.
So Carrie, after trying to find her family, she goes through a portal and finds the swamp, where she finds different type of spaces and sceneries of different types of swamps. And the idea was to try to bring out the different sceneries that you can find in the swamp, uh, like the ones that I'm showing here, the mire, the marsh. We're adding animatronics around the pools and inside of the main ride, which is gonna be a water coaster. I'm gonna be showing up soon, and it's gonna be through the middle of the main tree, and it's gonna be split down to different slides on the different extension of the center of the swamp. Um, Go to the next slide. So this is what I was talking. So you find the entrance through the portal in the first left down corner, and you have all the seating area on the edges of the area, and you have all this walking area, which is like kind of like the beach. It's not a beach, but it's like the swamp pool areas where you find the different sceneries. And here you find the bridges will take you to the center area, which is gonna be like a whole tree, and all the different circles that are around the main tree are gonna be part of the different slides that are gonna be unloaded into the edges where the seating areas are. You have what we have wild animals on the top left corners. That is gonna be you can look at them while you're at the lazy river. Go on next. So this is the lazy river load and unload area and the live animals area, which is to the left, and how it's supposed the lazy river to go around and filled up with animatronics and all the stage sceneries um, that you can sense. There's gonna be some animatronics that are gonna be popping out to people while they're riding. Go on. And the bridges that I was talking about to enter to the main ride, which is going to be a dark ride. This is the white spot that you see on the at the end of the image is where you enter and to the main ride, and the bridge crossing where you can experience this dark area inside of the main tree that will connect you to the different slides, and you experience the cues and experience the different lightings that you can find in the swamp. Go on. The main ride concept, I figure out that the otter was a great animal to use, which she's very versatile, and that was the main ride concept. But going around the whole main area. Go on next. So this is kind of the idea inside of the main tree. Like you go out from the you come from the Q section, which is inside of each of the trees, and you got into another space, which is like an involving kind of trees space inside of another one, and it takes you to a water coaster. Will transcend to the different other trees and rides where you can unload at the edges of of the unloading pools. Go on.
Now we are at the deep sea, right? So one of those portals take you directly into one of these tunnels that you see here on the left-hand side. The inspiration of these portals is that they are the barrel vault that exists similar to the Georgia Aquarium, if you all have ever been there. The interior space of this area is also going to be that of a huge aquarium, right? We just want the sea life all around us before you get outside and you go into all of the excursions of the water rides. In the deep sea, the main ride that we'll be focusing on, again, will be that of the Kraken, right? Because in the Kraken, you are then getting the frames that are being held captive by the Kraken itself. The Kraken is going to be a water coaster inspired by Atlantis, which is pretty cool. I would say that it's inspired by the Kraken, but then that would be too much. So it'll be inspired by Atlantis, high-speed water coaster that takes you through the water, but also elevates you off the ground. This is a high-velocity speed area. On our last park concepts, again, Kari means flows like water, if you all were curious as to where this name comes from. The inspiration for Kari is that this is a young, no age, genderless individual that pays respects to, you know, social culture and gender culture of today's time. So anybody at the park exploring and or following the exploration trail, what could essentially be Kari themselves. The town of Seaton also translates to town by the water. Seaton is a fictitious location in Delaware. It does not actually exist. Where they traveled from was inspired by the city that I lived in for 10 years. And the color of this entire platform is going to be that of Persian blue, because we're all architects and it was the first blueprint color. At the very end here, we're just going to have some park scopes. We use the website called Ask Buzz, and essentially on Ask Buzz, they give you general information about park scopes due to information that you put in. So the location for this park is going to be Florida-based. It's a water park, absolutely. The average time that you would stay there, intended that it probably be a 2-hour plus experience, similar to how we venture to parks here in Florida. So that probably more of a annual pass-based park than anything else. It is mixed ride and story-based. Guests will primarily arrive by car because it is Florida and everything's far apart. It's a very large park, and our annual attendance is going to be that of 1,500, which is inspired by Typhoon Lagoon, which is at 2.25 million, but a little bit more than Volcano Bay. So this will be the information that we got back from the website Ask Buzz. It'll say that our peak month will be 375,000, so on and so forth. But we're just going to conclude here, and we have Exploration Island, and I'll let you all continue to read that if you like. And now I'm going to stop sharing.
Could I get your guys' backgrounds?
So I am Dontre, and I am getting my master's in architecture with a certificate in themed entertainment. Jimmy or Jessica?
Yeah, I'm Jessica. I'm in my I'm done with 2 years of the undergrad landscape architecture program at UF, and I have a minor in sustainability.
I'm also in the March program with the TEI.
Okay, thank you guys.
I was also wondering, what does success look like in this space? You know, you start in this house and you solve a thing and you choose to go through some very specific portals to solve some sort of mystery. And then what? Like, how do I get out of this space and how do I succeed in this space? What does it look like if I've found the things I'm supposed to do or found the family?
So the idea is that, well, once you found the family, you've completed. My assumption is that it wouldn't be a one-day thing. It'd probably be a multiple-day thing, seeing that people don't go to all parts of a park in one day. Going into each area of the park, be that the swamp, forest, or deep sea, you conquer a lot of the different rides, but you have specific rides that you conquer, such as the deep sea being that of the Kraken. And once you conquer the Kraken, essentially riding it, you will be awarded a frame, and the frame will just be a piece of one of the 3 artifacts that you need to obtain in order to find this family. And then maybe the story is seasonal, because in my head, once you solve the story, then why do you come back? But maybe the story is seasonal and it does shift ever so slightly, and artifacts that you find changes.
Thanks.